All indications are that Aaron Donald most likely will be traded by the trade deadline this year. Early favorites to land him, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, is this a product of the Eagles bringing in Sue and Joseph last year? Or is this a situation that if you get the opportunity to do it, you do it? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys will do well. Hope you're hanging in there. So there are 2 times within a season that the Eagles like to trade for players. 1, during the preseason, and 2, at the trade deadline. And all indications within the NFL are that Aaron Donald is going to be the big name on the trade block by the trade deadline. Could he possibly get moved? Most likely, yes, he will. Who's he going to go to? Well, so far, the favorites to land Aaron Donald, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I got to tell you, this kind of confuses me. I don't know if that is absolutely necessary for the Eagles to do. However, is it a situation where if you could acquire this kind of talent when you're so close to winning the whole thing, you do it? We're going to get into it in a second, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support you give to me. A few things I have to say. I'm doing this extra video today because I wasn't able to do a live stream today, nor will I be able to do one at lunchtime tomorrow. I will, however, be doing a stream with Philly Mike tomorrow, so look for that. That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Also, I want to apologize for the last video. I have been trying out, and I'm trying out several different mics. I got other ones ordered coming in, but I've been trying mics like this and this, and just trying to find the best scenario for streaming and things like that. I am not a guy, if you've been with me, that when I stream football games, I don't sit there like this. Okay, then now we're going to take the ball at the 30-yard line, and we're going to hand off Frank tackle, and it goes for about 3 yards. Tackle made by Lon Johnson, brother, who's a cousin of his mother. I don't do that. I'm pacing, mother humping, hike that ball, mother humping, hit that mother humper, make him legless. I go crazy, I go off, and I'm moving around. So a stationary mic does not work for me. So I'm looking at other options, and I tried this one out today on my last video, and it didn't come out good. I'm not saying, I'm sorry I messed up, but I'm not saying it's a bad mic. It just, whatever, it didn't work for me. So on to the next one. So I just wanted to apologize on what happened today. Now, there are a few things I want to talk about. Of course, this Aaron Donald thing I think is pretty interesting. Not so much because I'm really going to tell you this. Where I sit right now, I don't think the Eagles need Aaron Donald. I don't think they need to go out and get him. I don't think they should make a move for him. I think you let the young guys play. I like the young talent. I like the talent we have. However, we did see the Eagles get Sue and Joseph last year when Jordan Davis got injured. Could the Eagles be in a position like that again? I don't know. You never know how injuries are going to affect the team and where we're going to be at. But assuming that everybody stays healthy, which, knock on wood, it happens. I wouldn't make a move for him. I think you're going to be fine with what you have. Now, I will say this. Aaron Donald is one of the best defensive tackles I have seen since Jerome Brown. Especially when it comes to being a pass-rushing defensive tackle. I think Jerome Brown was a much better run stopper. But Aaron Donald, great defensive tackle, and the impact he would make for the Philadelphia Eagles would be astronomical. Could you imagine, just for a second, putting Aaron Donald with this defensive line and with this rotation, where you're rotating Aaron Donald, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, you have Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick. I mean, dude, you're rotating him in. Oh, my gosh. And the knowledge and what he could teach Jalen Carter, Jordan, oh, my God, I'm talking myself into this. Right now. What am I talking about? Yeah, I'm making the case that we should go do it. No. I mean, look, I wouldn't be upset, but I don't know. if I think that's a good idea right now. Bleacher Report, they did a thing where they were talking about where some of the top guys who were going to get shopped could land, and they had Aaron Donald going to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they had a trade proposal that would land him, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts and opinion on it because I am totally right off the bat. I'm totally against this. I will not do this trade. I'm sorry, I won't do it. But here's what they had the Eagles doing. The Eagles trading for defensive tackle Aaron Donald, and the Eagles would give the Los Angeles Rams, get this, 2024 first-round pick, a 2024 second-round pick. So, to get a guy who's 32 years old, he's going to be 33 next May, so he's 32 years old, had 5 sacks last year, he had a down year. I have to give up a first and a second-round pick for him to get Aaron Donald. I think that is way too much for Aaron Donald. Okay, especially when you're talking about you've already blown the last 2, and I don't want to say blown like you've wasted them. You haven't wasted them, but you've already used 2 first-round picks on defensive tackles the last 2 years in a row. Now you're going to use a third first-round pick on another defensive tackle who you're going to have for like maybe a year? I mean, how much are you going to get out of them? I would not make this move. I would not do this trade. But I want to hear people's opinion because there's really 2 schools of thought. There's a school of thought kind of like where I'm at, where it's, hey, listen, Aaron Donald, great player. Yes, we are close to winning the Super Bowl, but I believe Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are going to be really good. They need to be out there. They need to play. They need to get reps. You got Fletcher Cox who could rotate in. Williams is another guy. You have the kid Street we haven't even heard that much about. I think the Eagles will be all right at defensive tackle. So why waste picks when you can use those picks to bring in Jeremiah Trotter's son next year? That's a whole different thing we'll talk about later. But, you'll have first-round picks and second-round picks to use. The other school of thought is this. If you brought Aaron Donald in to the Philadelphia Eagles, all of a sudden you have upgraded the Javon Hargrave loss, even though I think you've already kind of solved that with the drafting of Jalen Carter, especially in the long run. But immediately you've upgraded that position. Now you have Aaron Donald going to a team that had 70 sacks last year, have 2 first-round picks on the interior. You have Fletcher Cox, who obviously is getting older, and I think you want to keep him fresh. I think the Eagles want to keep Fletcher Cox fresh, and they're going to limit his snaps early in the season, and hopefully you'll have him to play more later in the season and in the playoffs. You totally help him out, too. God, man, I'm talking myself into this. Oh, my gosh. Because, yeah, there is no doubt the talent that you would put would be unprecedented in recent years. Okay, I mean, I've seen defensive lines that would have been better. The Eagles back in the day with Reggie and Clyde and Jerome were the best, the greatest defensive line I've ever seen. It's not even close. But I mean, this would be a nasty line. So there's those that think, listen, yes, we got to give up these picks, but dude, we're on the verge of winning Super Bowl. We were 1 series away from winning a Super Bowl. Yes, if you can go out and you can go out there and get him, could you imagine what he could do and how he could help your defensive line and your defense all around, especially if you have linebackers behind him? Yeah, Aaron Donald would do damage. And when thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, he would. But I just can't give up a first and a second round pick. So I would have to say no to this trade. And I'm curious your guys' opinion. I don't necessarily think there's a right or wrong answer here. I think that there's a case to be made about both possibilities. I just think a first and a second round pick are too much. Now, if you said to me, would you do it for a second round pick in 2024? Yeah, I would do it for a second-round pick. We also do have 2 second-round picks next year. So would the Eagles be willing to trade a first-round pick? I depending upon the situation, let's say at the trade deadline. Like, let's say you have injuries at your defensive tackles. Maybe, Carter's hurt or Davis hurt. God forbid. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But let's just say what if, a situation like that occurs. Then maybe you go out there and make a move for like a first-round pick for Aaron Donald? Maybe. But I'm not giving 2 picks for a 32-year-old guy. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. However, it's a very interesting situation. I could see the Eagles wanting to address their defensive line all the time. Offensive line, defensive line. And yes, Aaron Donald put in to this man, I feel like I've talked myself into this. I feel like I've come to this video and I was sitting there sure of myself, and as I talk it out, it's a harder choice by the time you start processing it and calculate the calculations of the cornbread, like Howie. It's a little harder choice than I thought it was going into it. I guess the thing here is the steepness of the price tag. First, second round pick, too much. You get into a second round pick or a third round pick or fourth round pick or 2 4-round picks or something like that, or a third round pick that could be a second round pick. It becomes a little bit harder, but and pause to that. But that's how I feel. It's interesting the Eagles are being connected, and I think the Eagles are probably be connected to most people, especially players of his pedigree, because they're going to be dominating the NFC. This team is going to be dominating the NFC. And listen, I'm really hopeful that Jordan Davis especially, and I bring him up because he's in his second year. I always look at rookies probably a little different than a lot of people. A lot of people could watch a guy's rookie year and say, well, he's a bust. He's a bust. He sucks. He ain't nothing. I don't look at it like that. I always look at it like this. A rookie year is the starting point for a guy's development. So if you bring in Jalen Carter, you can look at what he did in college. You can look at what he did at the combine, or when they at pro day. You can look at all these different things. You still don't know where his starting point is till he's actually there playing. But rookie year is their starting point. What I concern myself about, not so much where their starting point is the rookie year, but where do they go from year 1 to year 2, then from year 2 to year 3? So when we get to years, 3 or 4, how far have they developed from year 1? I think year 1 is really all about development. So to me, I think there's more pressure and there's more accountability that I'm going to put on Jordan Davis than on Jalen Carter, because I see like this year being, I don't know. We'll see what Jalen Carter does. This is his starting point. Jordan Davis, I'm expecting massive improvements from a year ago. And that's how I try to look at rookies and stuff like that. So I expect Jordan Davis to have a big year. And if he comes out and he's having the year I believe he can have and will have, I don't think there will be even a need for the Eagles to even try to go out and trade for a guy like an Aaron Donald or something like that. They can concentrate their whole trade deadline stuff on maybe a safety. Okay, I will say this though, when it comes to safeties, we've talked a lot about Sidney Brown. We've talked a lot about Edmonds and just the rotation, Kavon Wallace. We've talked a lot about the hole at the safety position and the fact that there's one safety spot that the Eagles keep rotating guys in. They obviously do not feel comfortable with that spot. Yet the other spot, it looks like it might not be a problem. Reed Blankenship has looked really, really good, by the way. Really good. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to do. He had a pick on Jalen Hurts at practice today. It was a really good pick. And he showed that he could be a hitter last year. If he could be better in coverage, we might have something there. But hopefully Blankenship will lock down that one safety position. Sidney Brown will rise to the occasion. And then if not, the Eagles are going to have to look at the trade deadline at a position like safety. Safety and receiver, they have looked and done more to than any other position. Matter of fact, today they signed a wide receiver. This kid, Johnny King, don't know really much about him, but he's 6'4", 6'5", according to some places. Ran a 4.45, and we don't know how good he is, but he's got some physical attributes that the Eagles obviously like. He could be a hidden gem. We're just going to have to wait and see. So a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. But before the Eagles do anything like go and give big money for Aaron Donald or something like that, let the young guys play. Let the young guys show what they got. Because I really think Jordan Davis is going to come out and he's going to have a monster year. And when he has that monster year, it's going to take this defense to another level. Because Jalen Carter will do great things as a rookie. Fletcher Cox will do what Fletcher Cox does. The defensive line and the guys around will do their part. But if Jordan Davis goes out and plays up to his first round billing, I think this defense goes to another level, and you don't need to make a trade for Aaron Donald. Just my thoughts, just my opinions on it. Want to hear your guys. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and remember, it is Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Are you going to be one of those people that get Madden 24 when it comes out August 18th? Are you ready for the artificial intelligence sapient technology that is going to make guys more crisp, move more fluid, and all of it is going to take place on the beginning when you put the game on and it starts up? It'll have nothing to do with the gameplay. Everything will be the same except for they'll refresh a few things. There'll be a lot of bugs because they don't give two craps how good the game is. Am I going to buy it? Am I going to buy recycled junk, recycled trash? Am I going to go out there and get a game from a company that doesn't even care whether it's good or not? They don't care who I am. They don't care if I have to wear the same underwear every day. I have hold my clothes if I can afford it. They don't care. Am I really going to go out and spend money on them? Probably will. Denzel Washington out.